All right, welcome to Sport Talk on Enterprise TV, where sport news from the four corners of the world are delivered at its best. On today's menu, we'll be talking about the preview of the matches that will be going down this weekend, of course, from NPFL to CAF Champions League, Laliga, Bundesliga, and of course, French Ligue 1. How about the Tigers? Tunisia defeated them in the FIBA qualifier 88-78. All this we'll definitely be talking about today on Sport Talk Show. If you are joining us for the first time, please do well to follow us across all our social media platforms at Enterprise TV 7. My name is John Alnassr. Join me and let's ride together. And of course, joining me virtually today is Dami Wealth, making a return back to Sport Talk. Dami Wealth, welcome to Sport Talk.
Yeah, good afternoon, Alnassr. I'm so glad to be here this wonderful afternoon. And like you said, we have so many things to talk about today, regarding Nigerian football, basketball, and so many other things, and, abroad as well. So I'm happy to be here. Okay.
All right, great to have you once again. All right, we'll be starting with local football, of course. We'll be starting with CAF Champions League. We are the head coach of Rivers United, and of course a Super Eagles veteran, Super Eagles legend. He was once the best winger when we talk about right wing in the world of football in the mid-90s. Talking about Finidi George. Coach Finidi George has expressed full confidence in Rivers United's readiness for Moroccan heavyweight RS Berkane. Today's CAF Champions League group stage showdown at the Gosville Akpabio Stadium on Uyo today, November 28th. The match will definitely be going down at the Gosville Akpabio Stadium. It is no longer a news that they lost their first game to an Egyptian side. The reigning champions of the CAF Champions, talking about Pyramids. Rivers United were beaten by 3 goals to nothing. And of course, today in Nigeria, on our own soil, we'll be playing against RS Berkane. Damn well, do you stand a chance against this Moroccan side?
Well, when you say do you stand a chance, I want to say yes, of course you stand a chance because we are playing at home.
The same home that Remo Stars played against Mamelodi Sundown. You know what happened?
Remo Stars is different because Rivers United have not. They only lost once at home this year. In the calendar year, they only lost 1 at home. That shows that they're not a side that loses at home. They don't lose at home. They make sure that they get the needed points at home. And if you look at it this season, they really, apart from the loss that they had against Pyramids, that was away from home. And you need to know that Nigerian clubs don't actually do well away from home. They struggle, but I don't know why, especially when it comes to continental competitions like the CAF Champions League, the CAF Confederations Cup. They struggle a lot. I was hoping that Remo Stars, for example, would have learned their lessons as the winner of the championship and do better, but it was a disastrous performance.
Come on.
And Rivers United, in the first half of that game that they lost to Pyramids, it was just 1 goal to nothing. So I was hoping, because I had interest in that game, you understand why I was hoping that in the second half, Remo Stars will come up and do something. Try to perhaps get a goal and equalizer. Or maybe even go ahead, because Pyramids, even though Pyramids are now, they are the defending champions of their league. But I was expecting that Rivers United would have actually done better. But lo and behold, I saw 3 goals to nothing. But against Berkane, Berkane have lost this season. So, I expect Rivers United to at least show something. Let them prove that they are a Nigerian side and they can actually, perform well at home. So victory would actually boost their morale, and I'm expecting them to do that.
All right, let's see how it goes this evening at 5 p.m. Nigerian time. Of course, Rivers United will definitely be struggling it out with RS Berkane, a Moroccan side. Like I asked Adami, well, did they stand a chance? And he said, of course, because they are playing at home. But let's see how it goes. For me, I still believe they don't stand a chance against RS Berkane. Not that I hate Rivers United, not that I hate Nigerian League, not that I hate NPFL, but with what is happening presently in the NPFL, I feel like I once said that maybe we should just forget about continental football for like 2-3 years. Then, you know, I we used to say, of course, we should work on our league first because it's affecting us. We should work on our league first.
It won't solve anything. Even if you forget about continental football for like 5 years, 10 years, that doesn't mean that it's going to solve anything. Basically, it won't solve anything because we know our problems. Our problems majorly are the infrastructures. We don't have the infrastructures right here in the country. We don't have the people, the management itself. I mean, people need to be willing to actually, to actually make football great in this country. Number one, our football is not even shown on TV, so we don't even know how well these guys work. Many of us, like I'm talking about the fans, they don't know how well these guys play. So there are many issues. So if you go 5 years without continental football, nothing is going to improve. I tell you.
That me well. Do you know that Rivers United is just like another RS Berkane? Because they're also playing away from home. Forget the fact that they're playing in Nigeria. Because that is not their, they'll be playing on their own soil. They'll be playing, come on. It's just like Manchester United, Manchester United have been borrowing Wembley from day one, and of course, from match day 1 to match day 38. That's what it's looking like. But they have a good stadium where they train. They are familiar with it. It will be another ball game entirely. So it's like they are playing on a neutral ground for me. So that's why I said they don't stand a chance against RS Berkane.
That's another reason. That's another reason. But you see, they are playing in Nigeria, and I think that should give us, like an edge because we are playing in Nigeria here, and of course, we're going to have Nigerian fans. I mean, another issue is bringing fans to the stadium. How many people are going to leave their home, go and buy tickets, go and watch Rivers United play?
Yes, of course.
You see, in all this, Rivers United are not a bad side in total. I mean, they are very decent.
I agree with you.
Very decent side. But that's what I'm counting on because there are so many issues that you can mention, this and that. A slim win or at least a draw will be enough for Rivers United. Should be enough for Rivers United today. I'm not expecting them to win by 3 goals to nothing. Like said, Rivers, or at least maybe a slim win.
All right, let's see how it goes. I agree with you on that one. Despite the fact that they are playing CAF Champions League, they are still third on the log table with 2 games at hand. You can see that Rivers United have been doing wonderfully well this season so far. All thanks to the man called Finidi George. All right, let's go straight to MPFL fixtures. Niger Tornadoes versus Remo Stars. Tell me what is the problem of Remo Stars this season?
I don't know. It seems they've turned a new leaf because
they've now won game back to back. Yes, of course.
They won game back to back. So it seems like they've turned a new leaf. They sacked the manager, got a new manager. You know, the problem with Remo Stars has been the problem with Nigerian clubs when qualified to CAF. That's not the problem. The problem is that many of them don't have the capacity. See, I was hoping that Remo Stars would have improved because this is not the first time they are qualifying to the CAF Champions League or for continental competition. I was hoping that they would have, they have their own stadium. The feeling is good. They don't owe players. So what else do you want, basically? So if you ask me what their problem is, I can't really say. But one thing that I can say is that I think there's been a talent drain in Nigeria of recent. I don't know if people are noticing it.
Yes,
if you look
at
under 17, under 20 are not performing the way they used to perform any longer. We don't even qualify for international tournaments any longer. You understand? We can't even bring a local player that is good enough to come and play in the Super Eagles. And it is not as if the Super Eagles players are that good. Seriously, we have so many average players playing in the Super Eagles. So at least 1 or 2 local players should be able to qualify to play in the Super Eagles. So we are having a talent drain. I think that is another issue. Another issue is that players, when they probably do well they see a club in Morocco, in Tanzania, or
Libya, in Qatar.
So they don't go at all. They just move. So that's another issue that we have. But I want to believe that Remo Stars have turned a new leaf. I want to believe that, I mean, they've won games back to back now. They are about, I think they are 11th or so on the log
On the
now.
log
You know,
team.
so they can, I think they can really improve on this few success that they've had so far.
All right, other fixtures: Bendel Insurance, King of Drossu versus Wiki Tories, Bayelsa United versus Casino United, Barra we host Kwara United. The biggest game this weekend, Damiwelt, will be Enyimba versus Enugu Rangers. Are they still big guns in the MPFL? Enyimba and Enugu Rangers?
I mean, Enugu Rangers won the league 2 seasons ago, before Remo Stars.
Enyimba 3 seasons ago.
Enyimba 3 seasons ago. So,
these are champions.
Definitely, you can still call them big sides. And don't forget that this is a southeastern derby, basically. This is going to be, I mean, it's going to be a tough match. You get, they are not that far from each other when it comes to location. So, I mean, Enyimba are not doing well so far. I mean, Enyimba used to be a team that, at this stage of the season, you see them number 1 or number 2 or number 3 at least. Even if they are playing in Europe, even if they are playing in CAF, but they are not even playing in the continent currently, and they are doing so poorly. Rangers have been getting, results here and there. It's going to be a tough match. I think I see a slim win for maybe Enyimba.
Okay. All right, of course, Warriors, we host the table topper talking about Nasarawa United. Do you think Nasarawa United can maintain this top spot to the end? Because they've been on and off, and they've always been from number 1 to number 3. Talking about Nasarawa United.
Yes, I mean, I expect them to get a result against Warriors. Warriors are the new promoted side. They are not that strong yet, even though they've been trying to get some results. But I still expect Nasarawa United to go there and probably get a win. In the NPFL nowadays, anything can actually win away from home.
There is nothing like almost win anymore.
Almost win anymore. So, I mean, with that taken away, I think Nasarawa United, with the quality they have, should at least get a draw, if not a win, at Warriors.
All right, another most surprising team in the MPFL is Ikorodu City. They did well last season when they came to the MPFL, but this season they are still up there.
Yes, I mean, something must be working for them. Ikorodu City are a side that I admire. I've seen some of their games. They are very explosive. They score a lot of goals. They are not scared of anybody, opposition. So this was one of the reasons. I mean, we saw Sporting Lagos when they came to the MPFL. I was expecting something, but they go away and they play badly. They come to Lagos and they get a win or a draw. So, but if United, they don't care. They can go. I think there was a time last season that they went on this. They can go away and pump you 3 goals. So if you can score as many goals as possible, home or away, and at least even if you concede 2 goals, it's okay for it to do City. So I mean, of course, if City is a very interesting side. I expect them to maybe finish. If they can continue in this momentum, they can finish continental places at the end of the season. MPFL is a free league right now. From time past, it has been a free league. Anybody can beat anybody. That's how. Because the quality, the talent in each team and the quality is not that different. It's different. For example, now an Arsenal can buy Eze.
Yes, of course.
Quality. But the NPFL, nobody get money to the buy quality. Everybody just randomly selecting players from each other. So the quality is not that much. If you are decent enough, if you can get the tactics of the coach well enough, you should be able to get winning. So yeah.
All right, Ikorodu will definitely host Abia Warriors, and of course Queen Khalifa versus Plateau United. Away from local football, let's move straight to foreign football. We'll be starting with the English Premier League. Reigning Premier League champions Liverpool are gearing up for a challenging match against West Ham at the London Stadium. In stark contrast, the buoyant leaders Arsenal take on second place Chelsea, showing clear signs that they are finally equipped to end their two-decade title drought. Before we talk about two-decade title drought, I'm talking about Arsenal. Let's talk about Alnassr and, of course, Liverpool. He has been given an ultimatum. You must get, 6 points in 2 games. So it's a must-win game for Liverpool against West Ham United this weekend. What are your thoughts on Alnassr and, of course, FSG, talking about Liverpool?
The problem with Alnassr and Liverpool is that they failed to plan well for the season. I mean, they thought Alnassr asked for more players. He asked for money, and they said, no problem. Shoot, we'll give you whatever you want. But that is not planned. You see, Jurgen Klopp probably does something. Jurgen Klopp, you won't see Jurgen Klopp every season going to buy £100 million from somewhere, or you understand? Jurgen Klopp in a season sometimes I not get more than 1 or 2 players. You understand? Well, he knows what he wants, and he goes for what he wants, what he needs, basically, in that team. Coming from last season, Liverpool didn't buy any player last season, yet they won the league because they had players already that Jurgen Klopp had groomed. Now this season, what do they need? They needed a defender, at least 2 centre-backs in that team. Because apart from Konate and Van Dijk, the other defender they had there was Quansah and Gomez. Quansah had been sold to Bayer Leverkusen. Gomez is, in fact, wanted to leave. It was because of injury and they couldn't see, they just told him to stay because they didn't buy a defender. They should have bought a defender. And apart from that, Liverpool also needed to have made this guy, what's his name? Diaz, to actually stay. You understand? If they could have actually allowed him to stay on, playing the wing, he's now playing for Bayern Munich. Because right now, Liverpool don't have a proper winger. Mohamed Salah used to be a proper winger. Right now, it's like an inverted forward. He's better staying behind the striker. This Lionel Messi role. He's not a midfielder, he's not a winger, he's in between the striker. I can't hear you.
Because for me, he has always been a good winger in the last, 5-6 seasons. Maybe he has passed his prime. And his Lord shouldn't have allowed maybe Elliott, or should have brought in another winger that can easily replace him. That is my own opinion. But any day, anytime, you can't take anything away from Mo Salah.
Definitely, you can't take anything away from him. But when people say that he has passed his prime, I wouldn't say it might be a lot of form. Maybe you can say that he's off form. But you cannot just tell me that he has a player that had a very astronomical season last season, best goal scorer. The highest goal scorer in the Premier League last season. I think he had the highest assist as well. Every start, he dominated everything. You cannot tell me that kind of player just all of a sudden has passed his prime.
His quality. But when you take a look at Liverpool very well, even last season, I've said it 2 seasons ago. I said this Mo Salah is not the Mo Salah that I used to know. He hardly take on players. But when it comes to scoring goals, he's still there. When it comes to making assists, he's still there. But now, this season, things are not working well. You are now started seeing that this is not Mo Salah. But it has been done since 2 seasons ago.
The reason why it is like that, like I said, Mo Salah is no longer a winger, like a traditional winger.
Okay.
You mentioned Diaz, who left Liverpool, is a winger. You mentioned players like Vinicius Junior. I'm talking about, he's no longer a winger. Mo Salah is like your false nine. If you look at Liverpool last season, Alnassr was playing Mo Salah off the striker because they didn't really have a recognized striker. Right now, they went to buy 2 strikers that they didn't need. One striker, physically, was enough for them, basically. You understand? They want to buy 2 strikers, which is a waste, basically, because Mo Salah alone can deliver his goals.
Yes, of course.
Consistent. Mo Salah is not that player that you expect to hug the wings. He doesn't have the leg any longer. Look at Cristiano Ronaldo. He knows that he cannot play on the. He doesn't have the leg. He doesn't have the. As a winger, you need the pace, you need the legs, you need power. Mo Salah doesn't have that any longer. What Mo Salah can give you is, he can give you that positional play. He can give you that smartness. Mo Salah is very smart. When it comes, just let him drop into the center forward, he gets you goals. Right now, and it's not going to buy Isak and Ekitike, and he's not leaving Mo Salah right there on the wings, expecting him to take on 2-3 players. It's not possible. And the sad thing is that Liverpool don't have anybody to replace Salah on that wing. There was a certain Harvey Elliott, who was doing quite, anytime he's been called upon, he does fight well. On that same wing, he could have been given that chance to play on that wing and move Mo Salah probably behind the striker. As a coach, you should be able, that is my problem with Amorim. As a coach, you should be able to use what you have. That is the truth. You should be able to use what you have to get what you need. Mo Salah should not be on the bench at Liverpool. He should not be playing on the wings at Liverpool. He should be playing as a centre forward or behind that centre forward. Ekitike is the kind of player that I would have loved Mo Salah to play behind. There was Ekitike love to drop deep. So play him and Mo Salah up front and see if it won't change. You can play Mo Salah. He's not a winger. He won't give you the result. For me, that's one of the problems that they are facing, apart from the defense. And probably they not having a proper winger. They needed Mo Salah to play not as a winger, but as an inverted forward. That's my argument. I'm not a coach, but that's my thinking.
All right. Let's see what is good. Let's see how it goes. If Alnassr fails, to win this weekend, talking about November 29, 2025, it might definitely get sacked. All of them will not be like Enzo Maresca. In fact, he is not like the Pep. He's not like the Amorim. He didn't choose player for himself. Chelsea bought player for him, the Todd Boehly, and take a look at the way Enzo Maresca has been managing these players. I just hope that the likes of Amorim, like you rightfully said, and his Lords should just make use of what is on ground and make it work. Play to their strength. Let's see how it goes. You can imagine last match against Everton, Amorim played, what is his name? Amad Diallo out of position. Hey, come on, it's crazy.
Of course, number one, I won't say that some of the players that Chelsea signed, that Maresca didn't have an input there or something, you understand? But again, the thing is, Chelsea bought so many players that Maresca has so many options. Unlike Amorim, even as much as I don't believe in Amorim any longer at United as it stands, I would say that he doesn't have as much options as Chelsea has. Even when Chelsea,
yes, of course.
If it was United that was playing in the in the conference, in the Conference League last season, or it was United that was playing in the Conference League last season, you would have heard the board or United fans looking and say, "Oh, we cannot buy so many players because we are playing in the Conference League. We cannot be spending money." All those silly excuses. You understand, right? Now this season, what they are telling you is that, Amorim, they cannot buy so many players for him because United are not playing in Europe. Come on, buy players, because we need these players. You understand? Even though I think Amorim is just a very stubborn man that doesn't want to change his ways. So Maresca has the opportunity. Maresca will play Gittins today. If Gittins is not doing well, he plays Garnacho. If Garnacho is not playing well, he can play Escobar there. He can play João Pedro, Pedro Neto. He has options. That really, apart from X now, that has this kind of options, that have that kind of options for Arteta. So the other person is Maresca. Other clubs don't have that option. Liverpool had the opportunity, but they spent money, waywardly.
Money is road. All right, other fixtures: Brentford versus Burnley, Sunderland versus Bournemouth, Manchester City. Let's see if they bounce back against Leeds United, Everton versus Newcastle United. Great to see, Michael Keane and of course Idris Gueye after their altercation against Manchester United. Tottenham will host Fulham. Crystal Palace versus Manchester United. Dami Wells, I know you are a United fan. Crystal Palace will host United this weekend. What are your thoughts? You just talk about Amorim now.
Crystal Palace are beatable, of course. Of course, now this season they've been doing well, but if you
This
look
is
at
not
it,
Old Trafford. This is Selhurst Park.
it doesn't matter. United
Okay.
don't have win. United can lose anywhere and they can win anywhere nowadays. You understand? Crystal Palace played yesterday and they lost in the Europa League.
Yes.
So that's something that they are well beatable. And it wasn't as if they benched any player. They played their first 11. They needed to win, yet they lost. So the problem is, will Amorim please play the players in their right places? You mentioned Everton. If at all Mason, you don't want to use Mason Mount, right? And you had your what's his name, Cunha injured. Why can't Amorim just move Bruno Fernandes forward to play in that number 10 position alongside Mbeumo and Kobe Menu, who can
Alongside
play in that
Casemiro.
then Bruno Fernandes is that kind of player that he can roam, he can always be dropping deep to help Menu and also be playing his main position, which is behind the striker, which is his best position. But I don't know what or how Amorim thinks. And my problem is, another problem I have with Amorim is that in the second half of that game, he could have changed formation. You know, nowadays Amorim will tell you, nah, I'm changing formation, I'm changing tactics. I can't see any of that. See, if Maguire were fit to play that game, he would have brought on Maguire and play him as a striker. And that would have been him telling himself that he has changed formation. There was a certain Messi who was on the bench in that game. And when you're even bringing on Mason Mount, why can't you just probably take off Euro? Because Euro was having a kind of a poor game. You get it? And another issue I have with him is that Luke Shaw has even come out to say that he would love to play his normal position, which is wing back or left back, as you want to put it. Why can't you bring in probably, perhaps change to a 4 at the back or bring in Bevan to play that role? Take out Dogu who was playing nonsense and let Luke Shaw play in the wing back position. See, there are so many cases of so many things that I feel that he could have done. But he hasn't done. In fact, in the last 3 games, United won. They won 3 games back to back and lost 2. Now they've lost 2 and they drew 2. Pardon. So now they've drawn 2 and lost 1, which was against Everton. In each of those losses and draws that we've had, United could have actually been in the top 4 or top 2.
Yes, of course.
Right. They could have been in the top. So that's why I said I don't think he has the ability to take United to the next level. Probably he's looking for a club like Chelsea that can be giving 5,000 players, and ability to choose from anywhere. And how has Amorim done in integrating players from the feeder team? How many players have? Look at Chidobe Martins, for example. Well, everybody is blaming Zegzi. How many chances has he given to Zegzi? Okay, let's leave that. What about Chidobe Martins? Because for me, what Chidobe Martins needs is just that confidence. Because you can see that he has the physique of a striker, he has the ability of a striker. You can see that he's timid. He needs that confidence. But yet you don't give him matches. You were saying the other time when he was asked, he was like, Chidobe Martins, last season was too early for him. When you have players like Lamine Yamal already destroying things at the age of 17. Chidobe is now a proper academy player. You no longer give him chance to even play for the big side any longer. So these are the cases or the things that, I don't know, that Amorim could have changed. Now against Crystal Palace, sorry to derail, against Crystal Palace, I think it's going to be a difficult game for Manchester United. If I think Cunha is back fit, if United can actually approach that game, the approach really matters. If we approach that game in all determination to want to win that game, and Amorim uses the right players in the right places, not playing Ahmad as a number 10, not playing Mazrui as a wing back or Dogu. If he actually does the right thing in that game, I think United can get a victory.
Against Crystal Palace. All right, West Ham versus Liverpool, Aston Villa will host Wolverhampton Wanderers, Nottingham Forest versus Brighton and Wolves Albion. The biggest game this weekend, coming up November 30th, 2025. Chelsea at Stamford Bridge versus Arsenal, number 2 versus number 1. What are your thoughts? If Chelsea wins, they reduce the point to 3 points. If Arsenal wins, they will lead Chelsea by 9 points.
Now, this is a battle of it's a battle between two key ideologies or two key strong points. Both of them are very strong in the midfield. Enzo Fernandez and what's his name? Are two of the best midfielders in the world. I mean, we have many good midfielders, Vitinha, Declan Rice, I mentioned them, but Enzo Fernandez and Caicedo have been very, very good. Their partnership was very solid. And they have made that Chelsea squad thick. Like, they are very thick. If your midfield is very good, your other part of the team are going to come forth, you understand? But what Arsenal have that Chelsea doesn't have, Arsenal also have a very good midfield with Zubimendi, Declan Rice. You can mention they have so many good midfielders there. But what they have that Chelsea don't have, they also have the compactness that Chelsea has. The compactness that they have. What they don't have is that they have this. They are a better gelled team. When I say better gelled team, you can see when Arsenal are attacking, you see that their approach is coordinated. They know what to do when Saka has the ball. They know what to do when it is Eze that has the ball in the midfield, or Trossard or Martinelli on the other wing. They know. See, Arsenal have this. I mean, they've been playing together for a while. The majority of them have been playing together for a while. So they really understand each other better than the Chelsea thing. Chelsea might be good in midfield, but in attack, Chelsea are still struggling a bit. Is it Leon Delap or Pedro? Leon Delap, I'm not going to shade him, but I don't see him as a top striker. You understand? I see him as an opportunity striker. He's improving. I mean, he can improve, of course. He's a young lad. But until you give him a chance on a platter of gold, he won't score. You understand? So Arsenal have this ability to actually see out teams. You can watch the game against Bayern Munich. They make sure that they stifle Bayern Munich in the midfield, and when it comes to the attack, Declan Rice can easily drop it, from the midfield and lay it across to Bukayo Saka or Eze or whoever to score goals. And they have so many creative players in that team compared to Chelsea. So I think that this game is going to be a battle in the midfield, which I think Arsenal are going to win. I mean, there's no doubt about that. Arsenal are going to dominate. And when it comes to scoring goals, like I said, Arsenal understand each other better than the Chelsea team. Pedro Neto plays as if he's a solo player whenever he's playing for Chelsea. I see him running as if there's no other player there. So I give it to Arsenal basically. I don't know about that.
All right, Arsenal Football Club all the way. Let's see whether they will definitely break that genes of over 2 decades. Come on, it's been long. The last time they won the EPL. I can't hear you.
Sorry to cut you there. At the beginning of the season, I said that Arsenal have the best squad in the Premier League this season. Maybe in Europe. Talking about the bench, the starters, and everybody, they are well solid.
They just defeated the best team in Europe. Talking about Bayern Munich.
So Arsenal have the best squad in the Premier League, and this season I see them winning the league. If they don't win the league, then just forget about it.
Forget about Arsenal and Arteta. Come on. All right, Arsenal.
I wouldn't mind having a therapy.
All right, Arsenal dancing, rolling at the top on the log table in the Premier League and, of course, in the UEFA Champions League. They are just top. Well, let's see how it goes. Chelsea will definitely host. Hello, can you hear me?
Can I ask you a question?
Okay, go ahead.
Between Ten Hag and Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, if they're going to bring someone back to United, who would you rather have?
Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. OGS. Manchester United legend. All right. Away from the English Premier League, let's move straight to Spain. We'll be talking about Spanish champions Barcelona and current league leaders. Real Madrid are looking to build confidence this weekend in La Liga after Chelsea night in the Champions League. Barca host Alaves on Saturday, 29 November 2025, while Real Madrid visits Girona on Sunday, 30th November, as the top two aim to fend off informed pair Atletico Madrid and Villarreal, who are hot on their tails. Barcelona just lost to Chelsea, 3-0, and of course, Real Madrid struggled against Olympiacos, conceded 3 goals All thanks to Mbappe scoring 4 goals, double brace, hat-trick, +1. And this weekend, Barcelona will host Alaves. Dami Welt. Barcelona versus Alaves. I think Barcelona on paper.
Of course, someone was making a joke after that Chelsea lost to Barcelona. I mean, after that Chelsea lost, that they lost to Chelsea. Someone was saying that Laliga will go ahead and create 3 goals and score 2, against Alaves, and they will start pushing him for Ballon d'Or.
Come on.
Because I mean, of course, Barcelona are going to defeat. They should defeat Alaves. All respect to them. I mean, they have everything. Their problem has always been playing against sides that are tactical, sides that are well disciplined. You understand? To beat Barcelona is very easy. I expect even a Manchester United side to play Barcelona and defeat them if you follow the style that Amorim wants to play. Long ball, cross, score. They always play high line. So if you can that high line, you can definitely beat Barcelona. But I don't think Alaves has that quality to do that. I don't think they have.
All right, other fixtures: Getafe versus Elche, Mallorca versus Osasuna, Levante versus Athletic Club. Atletico Madrid has been in scintillating form. They will host Oviedo. Sociedad versus Villarreal, Sevilla versus Betis, Celta Vigo versus Espanyol, and of course, Girona will host Real Madrid. Real Madrid has been chipping in goals lately. Do you see them surviving Girona, Dami Welt?
Real Madrid have a defensive problem. That problem has been there even since Ancelotti days, and I saw their squad. The lineup against Olympiacos at the weekend, and man, they were playing Carreras, who was in left back. They were playing in center defense. The only fit proper center defender that they have in that team right now is what's his name? The only fit center defender that they have right now is
Austin.
No, Austin is injured. Austin is injured actually. He's injured. The only fit person that they have in that team right now is what's his name? Garcia, Raul Garcia. Who made his debut? Was it last season or so? That's the only fit person that they have in that team. The other defenders are basically injured. So I don't know if they'll be fit before the weekend, if they can do all, I don't know. But apart from that, Real Madrid have also some internal problems with Vinicius Junior not happy, with the coach. Rodrigo also not happy because he's been a bench warmer for a long time, and so many other issues. Even Hendrick is not happy, he's not getting playing time. And when these issues are there, I would say the only happy players at Real Madrid right now are just 2, which is Adagule and Kylian Mbappe. Alexander Arnold won't be happy with his injuries. He's had a lot of injuries, so I don't think he's happy enough for that. So, but against Girona, I expect Kylian Mbappe to score maybe 2 or 3 goals again. He's a machine when it comes to scoring goals. That guy is just so good. So I expect him to win that one.
Kylian Mbappe for Ballon d'Or. He's been on his head.
Too early. That's too early. I mean, let Real Madrid win the La Liga. If you win the La Liga and
Dami Welt. Why do you always attach trophy to individual award? Kylian Mbappe has been in a great form this season, above every other players. So why must we now attach La Liga, attach Champions League to it before you can win Ballon d'Or?
If you look at the criteria, what are the criteria to win the Ballon d'Or, for example? Individual performance, team performance, team success, and individual awards. So these are criteria to win it. So he also needs to win something. You might talk about Messi, in 2010. Even though many of us still think Messi doesn't deserve the Ballon d'Or in 2010. But Messi won the La Liga that season for Barcelona. Was it the La Liga or Copa del Rey? He won a trophy, a local trophy then. In 2012 or 2013 when Ronaldo, they still won a trophy that season. When Frankie Berry is still saying that, so one thing basically is that you need to win a trophy for your team. No matter how, it's either you do that or you perform so good, like Messi did in 2012. Messi scored over 95 goals.
91 goals in a calendar year.
in a calendar year. So if Mbappe can probably score 50 goals in this La Liga season, even if Real Madrid doesn't win the La Liga, he's going to be the best player in Spain. And if he can perhaps, because the highest goal scorer ever in a season in the Champions League is Cristiano Ronaldo with 17 goals. If Kylian Mbappe can score 17 or 20 goals in the Champions League,
he will surpass 17 goals. The way Mbappe is going, I see him breaking that record.
Yeah, they have more games now, though. I mean, they are playing so many games now, so he can surpass that. So if he scores probably 20 or 25 goals in this Champions League, and let's say they don't win it, I think people will give him a shout for the Ballon d'Or. I mean, people were giving Lamine Yamal the shout for the Ballon d'Or last.
Come on, just forget about Lamine Yamal. That's Barcelona PR. Come on, Lamine Yamal came second at this last Ballon d'Or, and Vitinha was nowhere to be found. Was Lamine Yamal better than Vitinha last season? In Champions League, in everywhere. Was he better than Achraf Hakimi? There are so many players that were better last season than Lamine Yamal. Even Rafinha in that team was better than Lamine Yamal.
Definitely.
So it's just all about Barcelona PR. So
sometimes some said that Barcelona didn't want to, if Rafinha had actually won the Ballon d'Or,
they have to pay money. They have to pay Leeds United money.
If you win the Ballon d'Or, they're going to pay a percentage. So Barcelona doesn't want to do that. So I mean, it's all politics, football and politics.
All right, let's see how it goes. It is not good to be broke. Barcelona fans, so sorry about that. All right, away from La Liga, let's move straight to Italy. A surprise leader. Surprise indeed. AS Roma holds defending champion Napoli this weekend in a clash that could reshape the Serie A title race at the top of tightly packed table. Who would have thought that Roma would be on top of the log table in Italy? That is another advantage of having a good coach in the touchline. Talking about Gasperini, now the head coach of Roma. Roma, do you think, I don't see them winning the Scudetto at the end of the day, but do you see them making top 4 this season? That'd be well.
Of course, with the performance that they've actually given so far in the Serie A, I see Roma making the top 4. They've been very good. They've not been scoring so many goals, but they've been making it. And that's the style of champions, You just need to win the games in front of you, which AS Roma has been doing. But when you talk about winning the Serie A, I think it's between AC Milan, Inter Milan, and Napoli. And I'm going to include AS Roma as well. But I don't think AS Roma is going to win the league in the long run.
Why did you exclude Juventus?
No.
Come on, don't do that.
They've not been involved.
Okay, go ahead.
Just like that. So for AC Milan, AC Milan have a serial winner as their manager. That's Max Allegri. He knows what to do to win the Serie A. Serie A is like his foothold. So, and you have the players in it. They just need to pray that Pulisic doesn't get injured. He doesn't get injured like he normally does, because he can go on 3-5 months injuries now and everything just crumbles. Rafael Leao is not a serious player to give you that consistent performance. He has only done that once in the Serie A. Only done that once, So I think AC Milan have what it takes to win the league. And I don't know what's wrong with Inter Milan. They've not really been so consistent like you'd expect them to be. If they had probably gotten players like Ademola Lookman that they wanted to get and some other players like that, I think maybe they would have done better. But they have a new coach and he has tried. He has taken them, at least to an extent. So, but Napoli are the favourites to win the league because even with the injuries that from the injuries that they had, Kevin De Bruyne being the most important part of that, injury. They are still finding ways to actually, win some matches. And I think that team is solid. They have a very serious manager and a serial winner as well when it comes to the Serie A. So I think, looking at the players they have and everything, Napoli for me are the favourites, followed by AC Milan and then Inter Milan.
All right. No, it's crazy. Yeah. It is what it is. Yeah. A whole almighty Juventus coming from Dami Wealth. All right. Other fixtures. Yes, of course. I support Juventus. So, but it's okay. I'm not surprised. All right, Como versus Sassuolo, Parma versus Udinese, Genoa will host Verona, Juventus versus Cagliari, AC Milan versus Lazio, Lecce versus Torino, Pisa will host Inter Milan, Atalanta versus Fiorentina, and of course the biggest game this weekend, Roma versus Napoli. And in Bundesliga fixtures, we have Mönchengladbach versus Leipzig, Union Berlin versus Edenham, Bayern Munich versus St. Pauli, Bremen versus Cologne, Bayer Leverkusen will host Dortmund. Leverkusen has been in great form. Frankfurt versus Wolfsburg. And in French Ligue 1, the return of Paul Pogba. Dami World, Monaco versus Paris Saint-Germain. Pogba is back.
I mean, I think nowadays everybody loves Paul Pogba. I remember when he was playing for Manchester United, he had so many haters. And that's also to tell you that United is one of the most hated clubs in Europe, you know. But looking at what Pogba has faced and everything, everybody just have pity. Everybody's having pity on him, and I mean, they just love him. You could see the paparazzi and the embrace when it came on last week, you know, for Monaco. I expect him to probably have 1 or 2 shouts, you know, in that game against PSG, but Monaco this season, you can see that they are okay, but they are not solid. Look at the Champions League; they almost won the game, but at the end of the day, I think it ended in a draw. So against PSG, PSG are not even in their last season form yet. They are still coming up. Yeah. So, but I expect PSG to do the needful against Monaco. It's a straight win for PSG.
All right, straight for Paris Saint-Germain to hold the bookies. Don't think about this one 2 times. PSG all the way. And of course, Olympique de Marseille, Aubameyang has been in great form. Versus Toulouse, of course, their name is Toulouse. They might lose against Marseille. Paris FC versus Auxerre, Le Havre versus Lille, Strasbourg versus Brest, and of course, Lyon versus Nantes. Away from foreign. Hello?
Okay. I want to say that when it comes to Olympic Marseille, anything can happen. They can win against anybody, they can lose against anybody. That's just how they play this season. You know, they could have probably been topping the league right now if they had won some of the games that they actually should have won. You know, but here we are. And apart from Aubameyang, they have, you know, Mr. Greenwood.
Greenwood.
I think he's the highest goal scorer in the league this season. He's the highest goal scorer, so he's a threat, and he can do something.
All right, let's see how it goes. Olympique de Marseille. Away from foreign football, let's move straight to other sports. In the world of basketball, Nigeria's G Tigers began their chase for a 2027 FIBA Men's World Cup ticket on the wrong footing on Thursday, November 27, 2025, losing 88-78 in overtime to host Tunisia in the first game of the first phase of the qualifiers. The question is this, Dami Wells, which sport is working well? I know women football, they are trying, women basketball. When it comes to men, which one are we good at presently?
Cricket.
When it comes to men, no, forget about the female, they've been doing well. So, you said what?
Maybe cricket.
Cricket? Come on, don't even talk about it. Come on, Dami Wells. Because I don't know what is working well in men's sports in Nigeria right now.
You see, the problem we have has been mismanagement of funds, which, just to say, corruption basically. You know, when it comes to men's sports, unlike the female sports, men's sports give you a lot of visibility. It gives you a lot of revenue. Sponsors would always come to sponsor male sports, be it basketball, be it football. And some people have seen that and they want to always take advantage of it. In the sense that some years ago, for example, I had someone who took a player to the under 17. He had a player playing in his home, in his vicinity, and he found, you know, taken to the under 17 trial in Abuja because the boy is actually very good. This person also is a sports analyst, you know, one of my bosses. And getting there, this boy was actually chosen as one of the players to represent Nigeria in the under 17. He passed the trial. But guess what? They started calling his sponsor, that is my friend, they started calling him that he should pay money. And I'm not talking about thousands, I'm talking about millions. They were calling him in my presence, like we picked the call. It was an unknown number. Unknown number. They didn't show their number because probably they don't want to get casted. But this is where we are. And we've seen many players in football, like David Alaba, for example, saying he was asked to pay so amount of money for him to represent Nigeria.
That's crazy.
And this also, you won't tell me it doesn't happen in basketball as well. These are the things that, you know, to choose players to represent Nigeria, instead of going into the right academies or the right clubs to pick players, you go and pick a club that is probably owned by a politician or one of these big men. Choose a player from, because you know when the player blows, you are getting money. So it has turned to business, and corruption is really killing us. Apart from the fact that we don't have enough infrastructures, we don't have enough facilities to actually grow the men football.
We don't run a proper basketball league, because most of these players are they are Tokumbo. You know, they are just talks.
No, it's also a part of it. You know, I can tell you, I can give you one or two basketball, you know, hangouts in Lagos, for example. But when it comes to a proper club, I mean, we have the first banks of this world and so. But how well is our league running? So that's also a part of it. You know, because the people that are meant to do this, they are not doing their job. They are collecting salaries, they are collecting money from sponsors, and they don't want to leave the position. That is all. I mean, this everything that I've said, from the mismanagement, from the politics they play, the corruption, is what is hampering men football. The reason why female football and female basketball are not having this issue is because the female sport is not as
big, wide, yes, of course.
Understand? And Nigeria is a talent form. We have so many talents here. So even with the poor facilities we have here, you can just take one or two players from Nigeria here, you take them to Africa.
I can barely hear you.
Can you hear me?
I think the network is not cooperating. All right, that is how much we can take on Sport Talk on Enterprise TV 7. If you are here to follow us across all social media, endeavor to do that. We are at Enterprise TV 7 across all social media platforms. Visit our website at www.enterprisetv.com, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Dami Wealth has been great on the show today. Dami Wealth.
Yeah, thank you very much for having me on the show today, and Arsenal to win the league. I'm an Arsenal fan right now.
Come on, don't talk about. All right, my name remains John Alnassr. See you next time.
Enterprise TV, a tradition of truth.